Okay, so this is just a relatively quick video about the people known as the paparazzi. Of course, these are so-called journalists, freelance journalists, who often work on sort of contracts for tabloid newspapers and magazines, and they are basically paid to stalk celebrities. That's about the height of it. They're absolutely not journalists, and I think it's disgraceful that they could ever be described as such. I know very, very, very few people who have any respect for paparazzi. I think they're universally regarded as scum. And I don't apologise for using that word, because how else can you describe someone who hounds people to the point where they can have a nervous breakdown, to the point where they're left in emotional turmoil and they are forced into a situation where their body language is completely distorted because they've been driven to that sort of extent. The thing I find most baffling is why there's no actual laws against paparazzi. There's laws against stalking and harassing, and there are times when paparazzi are arrested. But I strongly, strongly believe that membership of the paparazzi, if someone is a proven paparazzi, that should be a crime in itself. I strongly believe it should be akin to being a member of the mafia. I really, really do. Because their actions are arguably just as destructive. You know, in some cases they cause real fear for their victims. I remember Sienna Miller was testifying at the Evison inquiry, and she spoke about how paparazzi, sometimes up to 10 of them, would wait outside her house. She was spat at, this sort of thing. And the thing about these people is, whenever celebrities actually stand up for themselves, they have the audacity to whinge about their personal space. Now, the excuse I often hear from paparazzi and from the tabloids that buy their filthy photographs is that celebrities want attention, that photographs are a big part of their marketing. I'd like to address that point. Of course, people like singers and actors, sports people, want a certain degree of attention for their achievements or for promotional material, that sort of thing. But there can be very few, if any, public figures who want to be stalked and harassed, and there is a very clear difference. I think there's a huge difference between being at a specific event, for example on the red carpet, giving specific interviews, and being jumped at outside your front door. There's a huge difference, and I don't think the law is strong enough to prosecute these people. I mean, I find it baffling that why they're not an illegal organisation, because they are a gang. Maybe not a single unit, there's different paparazzi outfits, but these people are criminal thugs, and that's all they are. You know, I saw a documentary on Vice News, a sort of freelance journalist, investigative reporting, so to speak, and they actually turned it around and had a bit of karma where their journalists harassed paparazzi for a change. I enjoyed that thoroughly. It was nice to see some karma. And then in his gutless cards whinged about having no other choice. I don't buy that for a second. I've struggled for years with financial instability, uncertainty and anxiety. I have a journalistic background. I studied journalism at university. I've never ever even dreamed of going down that route to make money. It's nothing but an excuse. There's other things that they could do. Yes, it's a difficult economic climate, but that doesn't excuse what they're doing. It really, really doesn't. There's much, much better people in this world who are struggling just a lot more than they are, and who don't rely on those sort of... so no, there's zero excuses, because what they're doing is sickening. And you know, some people say, oh, they're just celebrities, they bring it on themselves. But being recognised for something that you do, such as singing or acting, and yes, maybe more dubious pursuits, I don't think that in itself is heralds the sort of abuse that comes with it. Yes, celebrities should expect a certain degree of publicity, maybe scrutiny if you're a public figure. Certainly politicians, certainly lawmakers, people who affect others' lives. But everyone has a right to reasonable privacy if their job is not affecting the public directly. The way I see it, the only legitimate sort of question for an actor or a singer is about their films or their songs. This sort of very personal interviews about relationships and so on. Now, if the celebrity is given permission, that's a different matter. But there really is no human interest factor. Well, there's interest maybe from shallow people, but by the way, I don't want to give the impression that I'm saying all sort of information about celebrities' private lives that would be clearly ridiculous, because otherwise the definition of fame wouldn't really exist. We wouldn't know anything about them. So I am not saying that there should be no information at all. But what I'm talking about is the way the paparazzi go about their business. It's thuggish, it's intimidating, and it's sickening. And the arrogance of these people, then when they actually sometimes tell their victims to... These people are no better than playground bullies. They really... No words... I want to watch my language in this video because it won't really prove anything, but let's just say I really, really have a very, very low opinion of paparazzi. And I do wish legislation was a lot stronger. Because this is what these people do. They drive public figures, especially media celebrities, to the point of breaking down because it makes good photographs. And yes, celebrities could take out court orders against them, but they shouldn't be able to do that activity in the first place. I strongly believe that being a member of the paparazzi is tantamount to stalking, which if any private citizen had to put up with, then the stalker would be arrested. So what's the difference with the paparazzi? Just because someone's famous doesn't mean they bring it on. No famous person wants that. Yes, they might sometimes seek attention, but it's not the same as seeking harassment. There's a very clear difference. To me, that's a bit like saying, oh well, rape victims deserve rape because they dress in a certain way. It's essentially the same argument, that like you're saying celebrities want attention for their endeavours in whatever field they're in, acting, singing. They want publicity. It's part of gaining attention for their work as public entertainers. But that does not mean that they bring it on. I think that's a perverse argument. And I really don't think we should see these people as journalists. I think that's an abomination to have them even called that. And it also demonstrates just what utter crap the tabloid press are, because they buy the photographs from the paparazzi. Now, quality newspapers wouldn't do that, but trashy magazines and trashy tabloids do, and that just casts them in the shallow, nasty light that they should be cast in. That's all I really have to say, but yeah, I really, really strongly believe there should be legalities against these people. Even, I honestly think being a paparazzi in itself, simply having that sort of lifestyle, should be a criminal offence in itself. It's like, I really think they're vile, vile people. Now, I'm someone who's pretty ambitious. There's many things I want to do in my life. But if I ever get prominent, I vow I will not give interviews to tabloid newspapers. I just won't do it. Politics may be a different matter, because you need to gauge public opinion. But in other endeavours, I just refuse to do it. Okay. Thank you for watching.